Hello, basketball friends, I'm a Lakers fan and I bring you updated news. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like. It is certain that the Lakers will sign a great center, but who will that great center be? There are a few options on the market, but if the Lakers get Walker Kessler, it will be phenomenal and the Lakers will become a great team and could win their 18th title next season. There's no guarantee that LeBron James will complete another season in the most competitive basketball league in the world. When asked about his future in the NBA, James adopted a "we'll see" approach, sparking speculation. If Los Angeles wants to convince the four-time NBA champion to stick around for another year or two, it could acquire a Utah Jazz star center capable of doing damage on both ends. Walker Kessler is another frequent Laker target, CBS Sports' Sam Quinn wrote Thursday. His rim protection is elite, and while he's not exactly suited to a switch-heavy scheme, he's not a total perimeter slouch either. He can move. His offense, outside of rebounding, is a work in progress. He's dipped his toe into three-point shooting with underwhelming results, and he's a straight-up bad free-throw shooter. He's almost impossible to judge as a pick-and-roll player, though, because the Jazz have never consistently had even average guard play during his career. If the Jazz want to keep him, they'll extend him. If they draft a big man in June? Maybe he's gettable, and, like Williams, he's still on a rookie deal with a low 2026 cap hold. Kessler continues to exhibit promise in a Jazz uniform. Despite beginning his NBA career in an uncompetitive environment, the Auburn product is maximizing the opportunity to develop into an all-star. The Lakers are missing an elite interior defender and rebounder with enough offensive skills to keep opponents on their toes, and Kessler undoubtedly fits the bill. In 58 regular season contests, Kessler averaged 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game with the 17-65 Jazz this year. To acquire Kessler this season, the Lakers should be prepared to send Dalton Knecht and draft capital to Utah to complete a blockbuster deal. It would be in the Lakers' best interest to view Kessler as a priority trade target this summer. One key area Rob Pelinka must address to bolster Lakers' roster. After ending the regular season with big playoff aspirations, the Los Angeles Lakers found themselves eliminated in the first round by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka can now begin reshaping the roster in hopes of building a contender. During his end-of-year press conference, Pelinka discussed making improvements to the roster, mentioning that he doesn't want to foil LeBron James' hopes, as the 2025-26 season would be the 40-year-old's 23rd in the NBA. "I think LeBron is going to have high expectations for the roster," Pelinka said. "And we're going to do everything we can to meet those." Pelinka made numerous moves to improve LeBron's supporting cast this year, the most notable being sending Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Luka Doncic. While bringing in Doncic gave LeBron a new superstar running mate, the Lakers roster still has its flaws. Looking ahead to the offseason, there is one key area he can address that should increase their title odds. Following the trade deadline, the Lakers embraced a small ball style. This had a lot to do with personnel, mainly their lack of depth in the front court. Jackson Hayes is a rotation-level center in the NBA but isn't a big-minute contributor on a contending team at this stage of his career. Pelinka tried to address the center position at the deadline, acquiring Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets. However, the deal fell through after Williams failed a physical. If the Lakers want to contend, they'll need a reliable option at center, especially with big man Nikola Jokic commanding the Western Conference. Moreover, the Lakers are leaving easy points off the board by not having a lob-catching big to pair with Doncic in the pick-and-roll. Pelinka and the Lakers front office have their work cut out for them, and adding a center should be their top priority this summer. Option in hand, Lakers expect LeBron James back for year. LeBron James tiptoed through roster-related questions as the Lakers began their offseason following a first-round playoff exit, but the team expects him to return for year 23 in the NBA. James, 40, averaged 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists in 70 games in 2024-25 to rank in the top 22 in each category. His contract includes a $52.6 million player option for next season, and ESPN reported Thursday that the Lakers expect him to play at least another NBA season. It would be his 8th with the Lakers. James was not ready to discuss his thoughts on next season or how the roster could be upgraded this summer to potentially add a true center. The Lakers gave up 7-footer Anthony Davis in the trade for Luka Doncic, and James, who was listed at 6'9", was the team's de facto center for most of Wednesday's series finale loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. No comment. I never say that, but my guy Anthony Davis, said what he needed and he was gone the following week. I got no comment, a grinning James said Wednesday night. I put that uniform on every night, give everything I have, and that's all that matters. Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert had 27 points and 24 rebounds in the Lakers' 103-96 loss, during which Minnesota out-rebounded the Lakers 54-37. When asked about returning next season and his future in general, James said he'll take his time to consider the options with his family. I don't have an answer to that, James said. Something I'll sit down with my family, my wife and my support group and kind of just talk through it and see what happens. And just have a conversation with myself on how long I want to continue to play. A 21-time All-Star, 4-time League MVP and 4-time NBA champion, James is the league's all-time leading scorer with 42,184 points. J.J. Redick, Lakers need to get into championship shape this offseason. The Los Angeles Lakers' 2024-25 season officially ended after being eliminated by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Lakers lost in 5 games to the Timberwolves as they were unable to compete with their size, physicality, and length across the board. Head coach J.J. Redick broke down his team's fourth-quarter struggles and how hard it was to play without a center, though the reality is the team will have to wait until next year to get their lick back. This upcoming offseason will be an important one for the franchise as they look to retool the roster with Luka Doncic in mind. However, Redick also emphasized the need for his players to come back in championship shape prior to the 2025-26 season after appearing to be gassed in the fourth quarters. I'll start with the offseason and the work that's required in an offseason to be in championship shape, and we have a ways to go as a roster, Redick said at his end-of-the-season press conference. And certainly there were individuals that were in phenomenal shape. There's certainly other ones that could have been in better shape. It's where my mind goes immediately is we have to get in championship shape. And then I know Rob talks about the roster. Look, I think this group, we figured out a way to make it work. I have full confidence in all the guys, and you certainly want individual improvement. But then you gotta figure out whatever that roster looks like on October 1st. Again, it's resetting. How do I maximize this group? How does our coaching staff maximize that group? And it could be different. May 1st, June 1st, July 1st, August 1st, you have to be prepared for that. And ultimately it's about trying to maximize the group, whatever that group looks like. Redick also said the team will look to build out off-season programs for each player to work on in order to get in the shape necessary to compete for a title. I think that's something we'll build out over the next couple of weeks with our player development coaches and performance staff or training staff, he said. We obviously recognize it's a long season and some guys have routines, and it's not that we're looking to completely break routines, but we do want to have a program in place for each guy so that when they come back in August, September, we can build off of that and start training camp in a really good spot conditioning-wise. Los Angeles averaged just 17 points per game in the fourth quarter in the playoffs, so Redick has every reason to want them to improve in that area. Getting each player's body right before the start of next regular season could go a long way toward their title hopes, with Doncic being the first name that comes to mind for that. Rob Pelinka emphasizes need for Lakers to add more size at center position. Not only do the Lakers need to get in better shape, they also need reinforcements. President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka already knows that the team will need to add more size at the center position, though it remains to be seen who they'll target. Bronny James plans to play in Las Vegas Summer League. No second-round pick in NBA history has gotten more media attention in his rookie season than Los Angeles Lakers rookie Bronny James. The number 55 pick of the 2024 NBA Draft, it feels as though every single move of his rookie season was closely monitored by fans, media, and some people who seem to legitimately want his NBA tenure to fail. That latter group never got what they were seeking. Bronny did not get many NBA opportunities, and had both good and bad moments when he did. But the bulk of his season was spent in the G League with the South Bay Lakers. There, he averaged 21.9 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 5.5 assists on 44% from the field and 38% from three. But as LeBron James has always said about his son, he is going to continue to put in the work, because he loves it. After the Lakers season came to an end on Wednesday night, Bronny said that he is going to participate in his second Las Vegas Summer League this July, according to Dave McMenamin of ESPN. This is a positive development for a few reasons. First, it means that Bronny will get more playing time to develop his game and work towards being an NBA rotation player. Second, it means, unsurprisingly, that Bronny didn't feel above playing in Summer League as a second-year player. And lastly, it gives people a chance to see his year-to-year improvement up close. Most of Bronny's critics have not watched him play much beyond garbage time minutes and Lakers games where several players sat. But he has made legitimate strides as an offensive player over the last year, and he needs an opportunity to show that on a national stage. J.J. Redick discusses Lakers issues versus Timberwolves. In the blink of an eye, the Lakers' 2024-25 season is officially over as they were eliminated by the Timberwolves in 5 games in the first round. The Lakers lost Game 5, 103-96, but unlike the other games, the team came out shockingly flat in the first quarter. There were plenty of instances where it felt like Los Angeles had already accepted defeat, but they showed signs of life in the second quarter and kept it close from there. Minnesota's defense was as stifling as usual, but the purple and gold did well to fight back and put themselves in position to win the game. However, the Lakers, like in other games in the series, started to fall apart in the closing minutes, and that allowed the Timberwolves to close things out. Following the team's elimination, head coach J.J. Redick says LA got the looks they wanted, but they just didn't go down when discussing the fourth quarter struggles where LA again scored less than 20 points. LeBron James' longtime NBA rival calls on Lakers to sever ties with 4-time MVP. LeBron James wouldn't commit to his future in the immediate aftermath of the Los Angeles Lakers' first-round loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves on Wednesday night, but several talking heads have already begun making decisions for him in the hours that have passed since the Game 5 loss at Crypto.com Arena. One voice calling for the Lakers to take the decision out of James' hands is Paul Pierce, formerly of the Boston Celtics, who was a longtime rival of James when the two were battling for Eastern Conference supremacy back in the late 2000s and early 2010s. While sitting on the Thursday panel on FS1 Sports talk show Speak, Pierce suggested that Los Angeles sever ties with James this offseason and fully embrace the next era of Lakers basketball, which will be centered around Luka Doncic. If the Lakers want to get back to being a championship contender moving forward, you have to get out of the constraints of the LeBron era. He's had a grasp of the whole organization, bear-hugging them for so long now. He's done some wonderful things for the Lakers organization. They're probably going to build a statue of LeBron. But I'm just saying, they have to say, Bron, we appreciate your services. I think we should move on. Tough conversation. It's time for the Luka era now. Because I don't know if you can play them together moving forward, because you have to have a certain type of team around Luka to win. And him with LeBron, you won't be able to create that. Pierce's ideas should probably be taken with a grain of salt considering the competitiveness, and at times bitterness, he's expressed over his professional relationship/rivalry with James. But even singularly from a basketball perspective, Pierce's points can be contested. Los Angeles had a roster constructed around James and Anthony Davis, then had to adjust that on the fly after Doncic became available ahead of the trade deadline in February. The team has several pathways toward roster reconstruction in the offseason, and adding size inside and more defense/3-point shooting on the perimeter could put the Lakers in contention for a title as early as 2025. James was an all-star again in 2024-25, his 22nd season in the league, and is poised to earn a spot on one of the 3 All-NBA squads for the 21st consecutive year, all at the age of 40. Doncic carried the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals last season with Kyrie Irving as his primary running mate, with whom James went to the Finals 4 straight times and captured a championship when they were teammates with the Cleveland Cavaliers. James and Irving aren't the same player, of course, but if Doncic could do it with Irving, it would stand to reason he can accomplish the same feats with James. Furthermore, James has a player option on the 2025-26 season as well as a no-trade clause. So if he wants to play in LA next year, there is nothing the Lakers can do about that even if they want to.